Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to my 3 takeaways episode from the Marcus Johnson interview that I just posted this past Monday. Such an inspiring interview. I actually talked with him for a decent amount of time, maybe 15 minutes or so after the interview itself, and he is so passionate about the things that we discussed in the interview and how he wants to make an impact on the world, and I just can't wait to see what Marcus does moving forward. He's already had some great accomplishments and done some amazing things up to this point in his life and his career, but has big things planned for himself in the future. So I'm so stoked to see what Marcus is able to accomplish. If you guys are not subscribing to my Monday Motivation Trio newsletter, you need to make sure you go to nickcarrier.com/111-newsletter. Every single Monday, I send you guys one motivational quote, one inspiring video, and then one badass workout to start your week with a bang. Because I know that Monday is, to me, it's the most important day of the week. Because if you can build momentum on Monday, then you're going to be able to carry that through Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and you're going to have a hell of a week. But if you have a bad Monday, if you struggle through Monday, then you're not going to wake up on Tuesday motivated or inspired, right? And so that's going to drag through the rest of the week. And it's going to be Thursday morning, and you're like, how the hell is it only Thursday right now? But if you start off your week strong by getting a motivational quote, an inspiring video, and a workout, then it's just going to set you up for success for the rest of the week. So go to nickcarrier.com/111-newsletter. But without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into my 3 takeaways with Marcus Johnson. Number 1 is do what your parents do, not what they say. Now, obviously, this is pertainable to you individually, depending on what your parents say, depending on what your parents do. So it's not necessarily applicable to you and your parents, but it was very applicable to Marcus, and I resonated with it as well. When he was graduating from high school, he told his parents that he was going to go to college for music, and his older siblings had been lawyers and doctors, and so his parents naturally didn't necessarily have the most keen opinion on him going to major in music. But he was like, no, it feels right for me. I'm going to go do it. And then later on in his life, and he wanted to go back to school, and his dad kind of recommended maybe he didn't. His dad had a PhD at 26, and Marcus was like, Dad, like, you have a PhD at 26. Why shouldn't I go back and have an MBA and graduate from law school by 25? Like, that's what you did. Why are you recommending I do something differently? And so essentially Marcus took action based off of his gut instinct, based off of what he defined as success, based off of what he defined as excellence, even when his parents or even when his teachers or other people recommended that he maybe did not do those things. And what he told those people later on, after they kind of like apologized to him, he said, is they were like, thank God you didn't listen to me. And he was like, no, I did listen to you. I watched what you did, and I saw that it works for you, and so I did it myself. Because what they did and what they said didn't necessarily align. And I resonated with that because I kind of think my dad has always very much supported me in everything that I've done. But when I was graduating college and then I took a job, and when I told him I was going to potentially quit that job, he was making me like, really think about this. Like, I don't know. Like, I always felt like he wanted me to work for a big company, have a comfortable salary. I mean, a great job. Not that it was going to be easy, but I felt like he wanted that for me. And I didn't realize until later why I feel like that was. And I think it was because he's an entrepreneur himself, and he works his butt off every single day, and he knows like how hard he's had to work to have the success that he's had. And he's like, I think that he thought that I don't want you to necessarily have to go through that same level of work, that same level of challenge and struggle every single day. But I'm like, no, like, you do that. I've seen how successful you've been able to do, and I'm very similar to you, and I want to do that same exact thing. So I did what he did, not necessarily what he said. Takeaway number 2 was communicate your goals to others. I think this could be one of the most important things that anybody can do, is having the courage to communicate your goals to others. I've talked about this a couple times in the past, but it hit home right here with Marcus Johnson because he wanted to go to Georgetown Law. And it was after the application process had essentially finished up. And he had the courage to tell one person that he wanted to go to Georgetown Law. And that person said that they knew a reverend at Georgetown and that they would connect him. So they hopped on the phone, talked to the reverend. Reverend's like, I don't really think there's no chance in hell that you can do this. He actually said that the reverend said there's no chance in hell that you can go to Georgetown Law. He was like, but I do have a connection there. Like, let me introduce you. And so he baptized the kids of the dean of Georgetown Law. And then they hopped on the phone. And she was like, I don't really think you have a chance, but like, you want me to try? Like, I have a connection that I can get you to. And anyways, he ended up being accepted into Georgetown Law number of months after the application process had essentially been finished. And when he was already going to another school, he was going to orientation for the other school. And then he told his friends, like, nope, sorry, got into Georgetown Law. I'm going there. But the only reason that he was able to do that was because he had the courage to voice that goal to somebody else. And for me, it was super applicable because I started chasing down a sub 5-minute mile goal at the beginning of this year, back in, I think it was end of February, beginning of March. And I put it out on an Instagram, and then one of my buddies messaged me saying, hey, one person I work with is a running coach, and I think he might be able to help you. And talked to him, and he ended up being my running coach. Now, I wasn't able to get to that 5-minute mile goal because I got injured, but I am getting ready to attack it again in the spring of 2021. So stay tuned for that. But anyways, communicating your goals to others, you never know who could support you, and you never know who might be able to help you out or just be your cheerleader and keep you motivated. And then takeaway number 3 is people are not constantly thinking about you. Let me reiterate that. Takeaway number 3 is people are not constantly thinking about you. I think sometimes we get so worried about other people's opinions of us because we kind of have this thought, not that everybody is this selfish, but we kind of have this thought that the world revolves around us and that everybody must be seeing what we're doing at all times. But it's like people are going through so much of their own problems that they don't have enough time to worry about you. And I remember when I learned this principle back when I was listening to a podcast with Barbara Corcoran on it. Barbara Corcoran from Shark Tank. And the question was something to the effect of, how do you deal with public failure? How do you deal with being such a public figure and then screwing up? She was like, that used to be a struggle of mine, but then I realized that at the end of the day, no one cares. Sure, I might hear stuff the day of the failure, but the day after, people are worried about their own problems. People are too caught up in their own day to worry about you. And for someone like her to be able to say that, who has such a platform, should give all of you guys out there listening permission to realize that people are not worried as much about you as you probably think. And to kind of stick on that one more topic is to make sure you don't care what others think, because those that judge you don't matter, and those that matter don't judge. That's a quote that Marcus brought up during the interview. I think I've heard that before, but it's been a while since I heard it. To repeat it, those that judge don't matter, and those that matter don't judge. So if you're getting judged by somebody, then remember that quote. Again, guys, my 3 takeaways. Number 1 is do what your parents do, not what they say. Now, obviously, this depends on who your parents are, what they do, and what they say. But I think that modeling somebody else's actions can be a whole lot more beneficial than maybe their advice. Takeaway number 2 was communicate your goals to others. If you can have the courage to communicate your goals to other people, you never know who could support you, or they might be able to support you, or they might be able to be your cheerleader or give you some sort of help and motivation. So it's really important that you have the courage to communicate your goals to others. Takeaway number 3 was people are not constantly thinking about you. I don't know why I have to say that again. People are not constantly thinking about you. They have too much on their own plate. They have too many problems of their own to spend their energy and time wasting it on you. So again, guys, I hope you enjoyed these 3 takeaways. I hope you enjoyed the interview with Marcus Johnson. If you did not listen to it, it's a game changer. You've got to go back and listen to it. It's at nickcarrier.com/podcasts/Marcus Johnson. So make sure you listen to that. Make sure you start applying these 3 takeaways. Make sure you go to nickcarrier.com/111-newsletter to subscribe to the Monday Motivation Trio, because these 3 takeaways, the things that I send out in that newsletter, are what's going to allow you every single day to get a little bit closer and closer to your best you.